Hi, I'm Carly, and this is Scott Creley. I was hiking the first time I saw a discarded glove in the wild. A man came up to me, crying, and told me not to take the trail because there was a dead person near the trailhead. Then a young coroner came up and said nonchalantly, "Oh, she can go. We've got him covered up." The crying man sniffed and told me that he had just driven the deceased's family home after he stumbled upon him having a heart attack a mile or so up, but could not save him. I did go ahead with that hike and found a wet rag, then a crumpled t shirt, and finally a lone latex glove about a mile up the mountain. The experience haunted me for weeks. After that day, I started seeing gloves everywhere. At first, I thought of the ambulance that drove away, leaving one glove fluttering in its contrail. I thought of the sidewalk OD, the tearful family, and the bicyclist hit by a car. I hoped, maybe, sometimes that the person made it. Over the next several years, I started collecting photos of all the errant medical gloves I saw. I found a couple per week, and friends started sending me pictures of them as well. I was just about ready to make an interesting piece, and then last March came. The streets emptied of people, but those who were out donned masks, and rubber gloves were everywhere. I knew that from then on that they would only connote COVID. Rather than evoke the stories of some tragic day, the gloves have become simultaneously boring and terrifying, just like our terrifying, boring year. Now, discarded gloves are just something that's part of all of our lives. They aren't something we linger on. Few wonder about the stories of the 5 million people who have died of COVID so far. We created a photo series and a poem that ask you to look at each glove and to imagine each person's story. We didn't want their lives and deaths to get lost in the flood.
Now I'll be reading from a selection from the prose poem we wrote to accompany the photos. As we walk home at night, Carly tells me that there must have been a warning somewhere in all of this, that she feels as if she's failed to read the tea leaves or to decipher the punctuation in some divine cartography. The discarded gloves multiplied beyond control. They've been joined by wayward masks, their metal clips still bent around an absent nose. Their insides probably smell like mint gum, or still crisp with the snap of a cough drop. Faces and hands, she tells me, her voice low, like she's invoking a secret. The things that make us meet the world. And then I see that there are ghosts everywhere. Flat people filling the silence, discarded but now living, their hands whirling in sign language as they pull themselves from the half world and into our curved place. They're trash angels made of negative space, the things left over and forgotten. And so we weave our way between them on the empty street as they pull one another to their invisible feet. All around us, empty gloves are fist fighting at the edge of the LA River, brawling just for fun. They're translucent haymakers, busting empty masks, whirling through uppercuts and left hooks before the thin, algae-choked trickle washes them beneath the 5 freeway and out to sea. They're filling Los Feliz. Where they meet, the gloves are shaking hands. They're high-fiving. The masks have started singing. Then they're raising their hands in a great discarded hallelujah, filling the air with the sound of the dry breeze rustling palm fronds at 3 a.m. They know my wife. She was one of the first people to greet them. She was their ethnographer. And so now they're waving to us as they pass our little apartment, signing hello from the gutters and trees, dancing down the middle of the street in an extinction parade. I raise my hand too. I wave. I don't know if I'm saying hello or goodbye, and I think it probably doesn't matter. My wife could take a photograph, but she doesn't. Thank you.